You can start setting breadcrumbs for, hey, I know we usually go away for 4 days for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be able to do it. Not the whole thing. I have some stuff to do. I have some previous obligations. I can stay one night, whatever it is. If you start planning proactively, it's not as much resistance in the moment.
The real reason we're more consistent than ever before is underneath the iceberg. So what you're seeing on the surface is always different than the motivation underneath it. And I think it's really important to be able to, that's really what a lot of coaching comes down to, is root cause diagnosis. Why are you more consistent than ever?
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1835, we are on the theme of threes this week. 3 ways to finish 2024 strong. What did you just do? For those listening, Alan removed his microphone cover and then put it back on. It's a habit I hate, and I've told him many times. But he's a rebel, and he just does what he wants.
When you hear this...
Yes. That's what that is.
I am unsheathing the microphone.
Sheathing?
Mm-hmm.
There is a movie... Oh, my goodness. It's a comedy where he says something about removing it from its sheath, removing the sword from its sheath. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's... Megamind is a funny movie. And in Megamind, they all hold up churros.
Churros,
and they say,
great
unsheath your churro, and they all unsheath them. It's a really funny scene. What a silly movie. I think that movie's hilarious. I really do.
Most animated movies are silly. It's animated, right?
Yeah.
Most animated movies are silly.
That movie is underrated, I think.
Because they're for kids.
It was hilarious.
Why are we doing this episode?
Kevin and I sat down, and we were talking about Q4 being in 7 days, and how we want to finish the year strong. 2024 is 3/4 over.
It's wild.
It is wild. Especially from two people, you and I, who when I see a movie was made in 2004, I think, yeah, that's pretty recent.
Yeah, within throwing distance. No,
big
a long time ago.
That was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
So what we decided to do was, okay, I said, this is Next Level University, not Complacency University. Let's rock and roll, baby. We're going into Q4 strong.
Alan says cringy stuff like that behind the scenes.
You think that's cringy?
I mean, Complacency University doesn't necessarily flow off the tongue. You know what I mean? I think we could get more creative with it.
Whatever, man.
You know what I mean?
Next Level University. Let's get to the next level in Q4. So we want to help everyone get to the next level in Q4. Health, wealth, life, and love.
Yes.
All right, so we decided to have a little friendly competition.
Yes.
We each, before this recording, before we hit record, sat down with our notebooks, our Dreamliners. I know you haven't gotten yours yet, so my Dreamliner and your notebook.
I'm enraged.
Well, and we wrote down the top 3 things, pieces of advice, guidance, that we would give to our listeners to implement immediately to make Q4 the most successful quarter possible to end the year strong. And then we were going to have a little friendly competition. If anyone likes mine better, reach out, DM me, Instagram or Facebook. We talked about how LinkedIn, probably not.
Yeah,
Instagram or Facebook, preferably. Or WhatsApp, if you have it. If you like mine better. If you like Kevin's better, DM him. And we'll see who gets more DMs.
How would we know? We could just lie about it. I had 200 DMs yesterday. It's like mind-blowing. Couldn't even handle the amount. You know what I mean?
I would know you're lying. Because mine are better. So
how would you know? Maybe I've been lying this whole time.
We don't
for this
lie.
One, I've been planning for this. I know I'm going to need a big lie eventually. Finally, I can use it. 7 years I've been lying.
If that's the case. Okay, so we're going to do one at a time.
Yeah.
And everyone out there watching or listening to this, pick 3 that you want to implement. Or ignore us completely.
Yeah, you could.
And don't do any of them if you don't like them. But yeah, let's rock.
Mine are fringe. I think mine are fringe ones that this was my thought. I can't just say the same shit we've been saying. It's got to be different.
Okay.
You want me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay. The number one for me is measure what's distracting you. And the reason I say that is I feel like all of us have this thing, this miracle technology that also is the most distracting thing of all time. And ever since I think we were talking about this recently where there isn't, so at least on the iPhone, open up your phone, go to settings, go to screen time, and it'll have a daily average. It'll tell you if it's down from last week. You can change it. If you click on daily average, you can change it to day or week or whatever. I've been on my phone for 2 hours and 52 minutes today. 1 hour and 1 minute on Instagram, 16 on Facebook, 14 in photos, 12, and so on and so on. Not bad. That hour on social media was not scrolling. That was having conversations with people. Awesome. Mm-hmm. As much as we are measuring the positive stuff that we aspire to, I think it would also benefit some of us, maybe not all of us. But this would be something that would be really powerful for me to do. I probably won't do it, my freaking chair. I probably won't do it because I'm already tracking maybe too many things. But measuring what is distracting you, I think, is number one. And I would start with how often or how many minutes you're on your phone per day average.
Strong. Very strong.
Strong opener. Let's see what do you have?
I calculated once that if you spend 5 minutes a day on Facebook 5 times a day, that's 25 minutes per day. Mm-hmm. And if you multiply that by 365 and then divide it by 60, which is the number of hours, you end up with 150 something hours, which you divide by 16-hour days, because assuming you sleep 8, you end up, I think, 9.5 days straight on Facebook. It's a very scary metric, right?
It's a very, very scary metric. Do you think either doing it as an 8-hour day or a 24-hour day would be more powerful? Since that's how people quantify days, not 16 hours, you know what I mean? I always think about that when you say it.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't want you to think I'm pooping on your stuff.
No, it most likely would land better.
I feel like
it's hard for me, though, because what matters is 16-hour days, because if you are sleeping 8, it's more relevant. So, and let me finish. Imagine you had a friend who spent 9.5 days straight, 16-hour days, scrolling, doing nothing else. That would seem like they're out of their mind, for lack of better phrasing. But we're all doing that every single year. We just spread it out so you can't notice. That's the point. Hopefully that lands. Do you think that lands?
I think it does, but what is it, 9.5? What is it, 9.5 days?
9.5 days. 9.5 16-hour days. Waking hours.
That would be 19 8-hour days. So that would be an entire...
It'd be almost 3 weeks of work, almost 3 full work weeks on your phone.
Yeah, that
Facebook.
For me is like, what?
Oh.
That would land with me.
I should filter all my number stuff through you. I won't do it.
I don't think you should. Honestly. All right.
For mine, because otherwise this episode is going to be an hour and a half long.
It may already be.
Well, there are worse things. All right. Number 1. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, Kev. Get around one person who's on fire. I think that I asked a client this earlier. I said, have you noticed an uptick? I coach husband and a wife in business coaching too, not even relationship coaching. Typically it is. But I said, has there been an uptick that you've noticed in your wife since the one-on-one coaching? He said, definitely. He said group coaching was a huge uptick, and then one-on-one coaching was an uptick too. And really what it comes down to, I was on the phone with a client from New Zealand, and I asked her 5-pointed star. It's draw a star, who the 5 people you spend the most time with. I said, from 0 to 10, how ignited are each of the people? And we added up and gave an average. I know you're laughing because I can't talk. It's the tail end of the day. We're here. We're doing it. I said, you're not ignited and motivated because you're not around a bunch of people who are ignited and motivated. It's contagious. Motivation is contagious. Nobody wants to be the weakest link. No one wants to let the team down. No one wants to be the one hanging out while everyone else is working. It's really important to stay around ignited people. It's really important. So just get around one person who's on fire. In Q4, get around one person who's on fire. You can sign up for group coaching. You can do one-on-one coaching. You can have a friend, a peer, an accountability partner. You can join a mastermind group, join one of our fitness accountability groups, whatever you got to do. Get around at least one person who's on fire, who wants to crush it in Q4, because complacency breeds complacency, and being motivated breeds more motivation.
I dig that. Next Level Nation's a great place.
Oh, yeah.
And have the courage to ask someone. Have the courage, because somebody might be waiting to be asked. They might want to ask somebody. They just might not have the courage. So practice the courage. All right, number 2. You're gonna hear this one, and you're gonna say, "Damn, why didn't I think of that one?" Or you might even have it. And
I probably do.
This is the privilege of going first. Number 2. Proactively plan boundaries. At least in the United States, prepare yourself for this. At least in the United States, Q4 is riddled with holidays. Riddled. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Halloween,
which I'll be celebrating. I'm going to dress up as a podcaster. I'm going to be dressed up as a successful podcaster. That's what I'm going to dress up as this year. Let's see if you can find me. If you struggle with boundaries, start setting them now. Now, I'm not saying you don't go, but let's work. You can start setting breadcrumbs for, hey, I know we usually go away for 4 days for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be able to do it. Not the whole thing. I have some stuff to do. I have some previous obligations. I can stay one night, whatever it is. If you start planning proactively, it's not as much resistance in the moment. We've talked about this before. There's discipline and design. When it comes to habits, there's discipline of, okay, this sucks, but I'll do it. And there's design. Let's make things a little bit easier for you to do it. I think setting boundaries is the same thing. There's discipline of, I know I should set a boundary and be courageous and do this. Then there's design. How can I breadcrumb my way there? That's my number 2.
Which do you think is more powerful? Discipline or design?
Probably design.
Same.
It makes discipline easier.
Same.
Less willpower.
Yep.
But it's harder to do proactively because there's no necessity. It's like, I'll do it when I get closer. I'll do it when I go, now it's Christmas. I'm in trouble.
Well, before you go somewhere, you can say, I have to leave by boom.
100%.
You thought that I was going to have that one? I'm the worst at that.
I thought, there was a piece of me that thought you might have that. Yeah. Because you don't like Q4 because of the holidays.
I think it's hard. Yeah, there's two times where I think it's hard to stay productive. Is the summer, July.
Or maybe I shouldn't put words in your mouth.
No, it's okay. July and
feelings about.
No, it's true. I don't mind that at all. Genuinely, yeah. The holidays, I think a lot of people are off track. That's actually one of the reasons I think Q4 is so important, because if you can stay on track when most people aren't, you're gonna have a whole head start, and you're gonna feel so fulfilled. It's really powerful if you can stay consistent when it's hard to stay consistent. That's the time to do it. That goes for fitness. That goes for business. It's really important. Okay.
Can I say something dumb real quick?
Oh, of course, always.
Yeah. Thank you for the permission.
Yeah.
Do you think we'd be better off if we didn't celebrate year to year? Isn't that just, again, I understand it. You have to have the measurement, but you just do the same amount of work all year, every year.
Yeah, you should. I think that would
be,
mathematically, that would be the best. Yeah, of course.
It's wild to me. It's like, yeah, we had a really good year. Let's celebrate it. And then now another year starts. And
yeah, it's very arbitrary. But the same with 1,000 episodes. When we get to 2,000, it's an arbitrary number that we hold a lot more meaning to. You said
like 6 figures. I want to be a 6-figure earner. It's like, well, there's not a big difference between 99,000 and 100,000. It's just 1,000. That's 6-figure though. I'm gonna unlock something when I get there. No,
that's
you're gonna unlock
mind.
Taxes. That's what you're gonna unlock, son.
That is 100. I would like to live in a world that 1,001 and 9,999 episodes are the same thing. It's the same idea.
That is different, I think, because it's personal to me, and I didn't think we'd make it there.
Well, then that makes it different, yeah. It's more meaning. It's what you assign meaning to. That's a whole other episode. We should do an episode on that. What do you assign meaning to?
And I love the holidays, so don't get me. Your lights are freaking out. Just FYI, I don't know why in your studio. They're bright and not bright. It's weird. I love Christmas. Is my favorite holiday.
You have your lights on right now?
Yes.
Oh, it's darker over there than it is. I have brighter lights than you. Is that true? Oh no, it's because my Zen book has the brightness down.
Cool.
When you're on the 52-inch. Yeah, we'll continue.
All
right. So your second one was what? Let's recap. First one, second one. Yeah,
you know it's bad when you're each doing 3 and you have to recap halfway through.
It's all good. We got this. Hey, we're only 17 minutes in. This could be
1,
worse.
Measure what's distracting you. 2, proactively plan boundaries.
Okay, my number 1 is get around one person who's on fire, at least one person who's on fire. Number 2 is start tracking one thing where you can see it daily, physically where you can see it. Emilia and I have a whiteboard downstairs. We are 36 as of last night. Almost missed because it was her dad's birthday. Almost missed. We are 36 days in a row out of 90. 10 p.m. in the bedroom, which has made our sleep scores way better. I've been up way earlier most days, not every day, most days, not today. But where you can see it daily. One of my clients has a whiteboard in the middle of her apartment, and I said, how many days are left in Q3? She said 7. I think she said 9 because it was 9 2 days ago. And this was on Saturday. And I said, good for you. How do you know that? She said, it's on my whiteboard. I said, nice. There's something about seeing the number every day that keeps you on track. No one wants to break the streak. And if you do it with your partner, your intimate partner, it's even better because you don't want to be the one to break the streak. It's like the Snapchat streak. You don't want to be the one to break the streak. Okay.
Next Level Nation, what is happening? If you've thought to yourself, I want to try coaching, but you don't really know where to start, group coaching would be a wonderful place for you. That's really why we created it in the first place. We start a new round every 90 days. So if you're hearing this, go to the website, nextleveluniverse.com, and we have the landing page where you can actually hold your spot right now. Even if there's a group going on right now, you can still lock your spot for the next one. The biggest thing that we've seen is as we get closer and closer to the date, unfortunately, some people end up missing. The group fills up and they can't do it, and then they end up regretting that. So please head over to the website. The link will be in the show notes, and we would love to see you there.
What's your third one?
This one, I'm a little bit afraid you're going to judge. Okay? Not that you have a history of judgment, but I feel it. If there was going to be one, it would be this one.
My lights are nuts.
Oh, they're freaking out. It looks like you are in some sort of rave right now. Nice. I don't get it. It's strange. Okay.
Well, if I judge, I apologize in advance.
Punch you in your throat is okay?
You could, yeah.
That's okay? You're not going to judge. I'm going to tell you why. Number 3, find a digital companion. Now, this is what I mean by that, okay? Yeah, no, I know. I think I'm judging myself. Okay. Remember, Alan and I were in...
Find a pen pal.
Alan and I were in Pittsburgh. Nope. Yes, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, giving a speech, right?
Oh, yeah.
We were at an Airbnb, and I was like, dude, I need to show you this guy I've been following. Yeah. He is the most jacked, and he's like 21 years old, and he has a really good personality. He seems like a good dude, and he's just making content, and he's just famous AF. He just blew up. His name's Sam Sulik. And Alan was like, all right, man, show him. And he's like, wow, this guy's jacked.
Jacked.
Super jacked.
Super strong.
In his comments on YouTube, there are so many people who say, I've been following your journey every day, and I've never been more consistent in the gym. That is not a coincidence. He posts a new video every day, so you feel like you are part of something. You feel like you have a digital companion. And nice. I think you're more likely to be consistent, genuinely, because I have that where he's bulking. So he lifts every day, and he uploads a video every day. He's a day behind. So whatever he's doing today will get posted tomorrow. And he's done this for however many years. I don't know, a couple of years at least.
Nice.
Right now he's bulking. So he's working on putting on muscle and getting stronger. I'm going to start bulking. The videos just hit differently when you're doing the same thing he's doing. It's interesting. It's weird. There's something psychological about it. I don't know what it is. I'm not that smart. But digital companion is
It's very similar to having a person on fire. Those are very
100%.
similar.
100%.
So keep that in mind when you choose Kev's over mine. This digital companion is the exact same as get around one person who's on fire because I mentioned you can do it digitally.
Yeah, but they're not a companion. Mine's a digital companion.
It's the exact same thing. No big deal.
It was a risk. We didn't tell each other these before we did them. I
There's always
had a feeling.
a thing underneath a thing underneath a thing. So let's say there's a result. I've been going to the gym a lot more. Okay, well, why? Because I set a goal to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks or whatever, hypothetically. Okay, well, why? Because Kevin and I haven't been consistent lately. Okay, why? Because we've been really focused on business. Okay. What is the thing that's making you go to the gym more? It's the fact that Kevin and I decided to do something together and then held ourselves accountable with the podcast community, with the Next Level Nation. The real reason we're more consistent than ever before is underneath the iceberg. So what you're seeing on the surface is always different than the motivation underneath it. And I think it's really important to be able to, that's really what a lot of coaching comes down to is root cause diagnosis. Why are you more consistent than ever? Oh, you used to be listening to NLU. I've noticed a huge uptick in my clients. I said this not 20 minutes ago. I said this to a client. Also, start listening to Pray Drive first thing in the AM. It's a book I recommend it. Also, try to hit NLU too. Maybe on your way to work or something. I always see huge uptick in motivation when clients listen to NLU. Having your coach in your pocket every day is a noticeable game changer.
For sure.
It is so noticeable. I can always tell when someone's not listening to NLU. It's almost, we had a listener I did a call with recently. She said, I'm part of the family at Next Level Nation. And she said, I feel like I already know you. I said, that's exactly it. That's a digital companion. Hopefully we're a digital companion for people. Hopefully we help people be more consistent and more inspired and more motivated, more educated, that's the goal, right?
100%.
Okay. Last one. Number 3. Decide on your top 3 most important priorities for Q4. Did this with a client earlier, not an hour ago.
The reason I was laughing when you said not 20 minutes ago is because we've been recording for 24. That's why I laughed. I was like, well,
Close. Not 30 minutes ago. So his top 3 most important priorities, I think we all have a top 3 micro and a top 3 macro. His top 3 micro for Q4 only, specifically for Q4, is number 1, teaching, number 2, real estate, number 3, family, in that order. Mine for Q4 are podcasting, training, and coaching. But for the macro, they're CEO, husband, father. And CEO, a bunch fall underneath that. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. But ultimately, what are your top 3 most important priorities just for Q4? Decide them in advance. Also put them somewhere you can see them daily. I have podcasting, training, and coaching on my whiteboard in my office right there. I could see it every single day. So every time I feel lost or directionless or bored, I immediately go back to the target.
If you could only pick one out of the list, what would it be?
Coaching.
Oh, no, sorry, out of our list. Sorry.
Oh.
Out of our list of 6. He was ready for that.
Not the podcast? No, I wasn't. All 6 of these?
Yeah, if you could pick just one. To give away.
It's got to be getting around someone on fire. It's got to be getting around someone who you feel almost like you can't keep up. You can, So it can't be too far ahead, but
yeah.
It needs to be super motivating. It needs to be someone who motivates you. Living with and being with Emilia is very motivating because she's always on. She's always not, I don't want this to sound wrong. It's not always, but she's always getting after it. And she's building a lot in her career, in her fitness, in life, in family. She's always building. And get around someone who's building a bigger, better, brighter future, and it will make you feel uncomfortable, but in a motivating way.
I think that creates the opportunity for all the other ones to happen.
Agreed.
The proactively plan boundaries, I mean, that's really only X amount of things. Let's say there's 3 holidays you have to plan for. And if you're not in the U.S., I don't know what other holidays there are around that time in different parts of the world. But I would agree with that.
Without you and I, we wouldn't be nearly as, like, let me say this as accurate as I can. I would still be very motivated, but it is motivating having a team of motivated people. It's very motivating. We have group coaching. We have fitness accountability now. We have each other. I have Emilia. I'm surrounded by people who are building. And so it's much easier to stay motivated, even though it's uncomfortable sometimes. Yeah, I would say it's more comfortable for me, so I don't know if I can authentically say that, but I would say I can see why it would be easy to get complacent if you're not around people that are building.
I'm definitely more consistent with fitness because I'm leading, quote unquote, the accountability group.
100%.
Leading that's a light term. So that's my thing to make sure I post every day.
I know we got to jump, but it was Saturday. Emilia and I were supposed to walk. We have a whole schedule. And I pivot sometimes because I'm feeling it. I was in the Next Level Fitness Accountability group and it was on fire. There was a bunch of people in there. Picture, motivated. And I said, sweetheart, what are your thoughts on going to the gym before we go to your parents tonight? And she said, well, I'm going to walk because XYZ. I said, I'm going to go. I got to lift. I got to lift today. I need to lift. And I crushed pull day. And it was just me and these 2 other dudes, empty gym. You know when the gym is so empty that the automatic lights shut off in certain sections of the gym?
My gym does not have automatic lights because they're not about that efficiency. F the world, they say.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, it was just awesome. And the Next Level Fitness Accountability group is the reason why. I probably wouldn't have lifted on Saturday. I would not have lifted on Saturday without that group, to my current awareness.
FOMO is good if it's fear of missing out of alignment. Or fear of missing out of results.
That's a good one right there.
I say some stuff.
FOMO is good if it's fear of missing out on alignment. That's fire.
Or results, whatever, right? Whatever. But I think that's when people talk about motivation, that's a big piece of it. It's like you're in a group and everybody's talking about what they're doing. You're like, dang, I want to do that. I'm gonna do that. Awesome. I'm gonna go do something I wouldn't do. It's almost like I'm gonna go do something that I already do at a somewhat high percentage, but this is actually going to push me over that percentage a little bit higher. Because you go to the gym, let's say you go to the gym 60% of the time. Walk, gym. What is the percentage you think?
50-50. We're trying to hit every other day. It used to be 2/3. We used to try to do 2/3 gym. Yeah, weight training. So lately it's been every other day. I'm trying to give my body some recovery time.
Understandable. Hopefully this will make that 55%. Whatever, hypothetically.
Well, it did this week. Right. Well, yeah, I lifted 3 times last week.
Numbers.
So that still wouldn't be 50.
Yeah,
but
numbers.
It's definitely more than it would be, yes. It's like being on a sports team. When you're on a sports team, you just are more motivated. That's what group coaching was built around. Shout out to Brandon. He's been on the team for 5 years. I said, when were you the most on point? And he said, back when I was playing football for college. And I said, well, and we broke it down. You had a team, you had coaches, you had games every Sunday, you had your friends and family. Some of your friends and family didn't believe in you. Some of them did. There was practices, there was structure, there was accountability. I mean, group coaching was built out of that conversation. with Brandon because he was the most motivated he'd ever been, and that's what group coaching was built on. So,
you know what I was thinking of before we go? You know how we always talk about how we lived in Florida for a month?
Yeah. For a year.
No, I saw a picture. There's a picture of me in the gym, and I was very, 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 very in shape. But I also remember because that's when I had panic attacks. That's not when we lived there. That's when we went to Arizona for a Brendan Burchard event. That was in 2018. I didn't know that was the first year after I left my job. We got after it.
Yeah, man.
We got after it.
We've been very ignited for a very long amount of time.
It's wild to think
I would say, looking back, that's very clear. That's why when we did the meetup on consistency, Kevin and I opened it saying, we aren't good at everything, but we're really good at this. We are consistent AF, for sure. So at least on the right things.
We have a lot of the hacks, too. Accountability, necessity, peak performance partners.
Community.
A lot. Community, discipline, design. There's a lot. We have a lot of the things, for sure. And that's shout out to each and every one of you for keeping us accountable. Anything in closing, good sir?
No, I like that a lot. I think that was great. Anything in closing? Get around at least one person that makes you feel a little uncomfortable by the way they perform. They don't make you feel uncomfortable because they're toxic. That's not what I'm saying. They make you feel uncomfortable because they're ahead of you. I remember when I used to lift with Matt and Kev, Matt is so much stronger than us. And that I would be a little uncomfortable when his warm up would be my max. But that was good for me. It was good for me. And maybe that's not always true for everybody, but I think it's going to be good to that's why I said just one person. Don't get around don't surround yourself where you're behind in everything. Just pick one person who makes you feel a little uncomfortable at the ego level. And I think you'd be surprised with, assuming they're not toxic, that it'll inspire the hell out of you.
I used to work out with Matt every day. It was awesome.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It was awesome.
Game changer.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. The schedule was a little bit more free back then. You know what I'm saying? And, well, actually, no. It was, yes. And I didn't care about sleep, so I would go to bed at midnight and get up at 4. And it was like, oh, why am I so tired? Why is it so hard for me to focus or hold a thought in my brain for more than 15 minutes? Don't know. Can't figure it out. That's why. All right. I almost just hammered my water all over the desk.
That would have been bad.
It's 3/4 full. It's a big one, too. If you are looking to make 2024, the end of it, the strongest quarter humanly possible, make sure you are subscribed to NLU so you never miss an opportunity to get to the next level. We could be your digital companions. Every day you'll get a little notification. NLU just dropped a new episode. 3 ways to finish 2024 strong. 3 ways to do something. 5 ways to do something else. The number 1 way, maybe even, to do something. But you'll get notified, and it might be the gentle kick in the butt where maybe you've woken up and you're looking at your phone and you don't want to do the learning thing. You don't want to go to Audible. You don't want to go to iBooks. You don't want to go to Apple Podcasts, wherever you consume your podcasts. And you get a little notification, and then boom, you're off to the races. Sometimes we just need a little hint. Hey, I know you want to do this. Let's make it a little bit easier, and subscribing will help.
October 8th, we're starting our 16th group of group coaching. This is a fine-tuned program designed to keep you ignited and motivated. And Amy and I were on earlier, and she said the way to say it is it's unbelievable that it comes to less than $25 a week. For $25 a week, you get me, Kevin, and Amy pouring into you every week, every day in the WhatsApp group, and a group of 10 like-minded individuals all trying to get to the next level. This is Next Level University, not Complacency University. Let's rock and roll. You can do it. We got this. We believe in you. We will show you that. And I do believe this will help you be the best version of yourself.
Right on. And to get the price down that low, use discount code NLU listener at checkout, and it'll take 30% off the entire price. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep after it.